Tomorrow marks 1 year since Helene hit western North Carolina. It's a milestone some people dread as it brings back painful memories. I've heard people reference a feeling of PTSD. Others, I imagine, are happy to reach this point as it represents a triumph of sorts, persevering through a difficult year. I know for many it's been a mixed bag of emotions. For all of us, I think this 1 year mark can be a time to reflect. As I've shared with you over the past year, western North Carolina is where I grew up. It's my favorite place. It will always be home. I still get a pit in my stomach, though, thinking about those days and weeks immediately after the storm. Seeing this video just brings it all back. I went 2 days without being able to get in touch with my parents, and they went weeks without power and water, and that was tough to see. There are a number of events happening across the state today and this weekend in honor of Helene, but there was one surprise, a positive surprise yesterday as the recovery process continues. Take a look at this. Workers clearing the channel to the Lake Lure Boat Marina discovered a section of the Rainbow Bridge in the sediment. That's according to a Facebook post from the Flowering Bridge organization. Now, before the storm, people left collars on the Rainbow Bridge to serve as a memorial to pets. The collars that were found yesterday are going to be cleaned up and stored in a safe space until they can be placed on the new Rainbow Bridge, which is expected to be built next spring. Just an incredible discovery, especially when you consider it was just 2 days shy of the 1 year mark. The Ingalls grocery store in Swannanoa that was damaged during Helene remains closed, but there are now plans for a new store to be built. When the store here closed due to damage from the storm, it turned the community into a food desert. And I can tell you from growing up in the area and having family there that people depend on that Ingalls. It's created a hardship for a number of people. People have had to drive elsewhere like Black Mountain or East Asheville to get to the nearest large grocery stores. Ironically, the Swannanoa store is less than 4 miles down the road from Ingalls corporate headquarters and distribution center. The tracks in certain places were damaged due to Helene, so for the last year and a half, those trains have not been able to go up the mountain. I want to show you this video here. This is from my friend Beverly in Black Mountain, and you see that train coming through. She said the sound of it was so great. Quick history lesson. This is what it made me think of. 1879, the tunnel connecting Old Fort to Black Mountain was finished. Oh, there's that sound. And it was said back then, daylight entered Buncombe County. And it, to me, reminded me of that all over again. And it just is so joyous, people gathering and celebrating. This is Beech Creek Christian Church just after the storm in Swannanoa. And you can see the storm washed away part of that building, left so much debris there. A really tough sight. That church is still standing, what's left of it. You can see in this video that I shot just a couple of weeks ago when we were filming part of this special, that it is still there, but I love the juxtaposition there with the flowers blooming. I thought it was kind of a sign of hope, and that's what we've heard from a lot of people, that they look for that hope. And my story is just one of several stories in this special, and I focus in on the faith people are leaning on over the last year and continue to try to get through this tough time. This is Beech Creek Christian Church. I came to Vacation Bible School here once when I was a kid. This is in the Beech Creek community where generations of my own family have lived. But this church has been around for 150 years. But this past year has been unlike any other, obviously. It's been a year of loss and destruction here and for so many people in the Swannanoa Valley. But despite all of that, so many people have told me that they've remained hopeful and they attribute their faith. Volunteers in the central part of our state are fixing up pianos for people hard hit by Helene in western North Carolina. And we were humbled to hear that our reporting in the aftermath of the storm inspired the project.
It started with churches since Justin's report. I was in front of the Beech Creek Christian Church in Swannanoa, and I thought, well, there must be lots of churches that need pianos and schools that were destroyed during the hurricane.
I have a closer look at what this group is doing to help out in this week's Everyday Heroes. Getting to and from needed doctor's appointments is not always easy for some seniors here in our state, but a new nonprofit in Durham is aimed at eliminating that stress and making it easier and free for seniors to get to the care they need. I met up with one of the volunteer drivers for this week's Everyday Hero story and found out they provide more than just a ride. And Debbie's the kind of person, like, you feel like you've known her
Yeah.
your whole life
Yeah,
as soon as you've
exactly.
met her. And both of them were just so nice. I appreciated the opportunity to ride along with Debbie. You know, she's one of about 20 volunteers, and so far they've helped about 30 seniors. That's over the last year since this started. Right now the service is available to seniors 65 and older in the northern part of Durham, north of I-85. But it is part of a nationwide alliance, and several churches came together to bring that here. I can remember when I was about that age, the only experience I had with a computer was playing the Oregon Trail, and not very well. And then when I was in 6th grade, I think it was, we had a teacher gather a group of us together to learn what an email was, and we were going to send an email to someone in another part of the world. My, how things have changed.
Yes, you get to live your dream every day. Emails all day long.
Oh yes, I'm living the dream with a lot of emails. Well, communities in Alamance County are also building back after the storm. Yesterday I met with Tracy Paler, who told me that she was stuck inside her apartment in downtown Mebane as the floodwater rose outside her door and began to flow into her doorway. If you can imagine how stressful that must have been. It was also seeping through her walls. And she says she lost a lot of her belongings. I noticed this right here. The water was still squishing under her feet there in the carpet. She says she lost a lot of her belongings, and she doesn't have flood insurance. This is a typical back road from what we're seeing here. Lots of snow and ice, but emphasis on the ice. I want you to look down here, and there's just a little bit of the powdery snow left, but it is mostly ice. In fact, I'll tell you, earlier as I was walking, I slipped, fell hard. I was trying to record some video and my phone went flying. It took me a minute to find it. But that gives you an idea of just how slippery it is. And you're dealing with not only the ice that you can see, thick ice, but also the black ice that's been a problem throughout the morning.
I was not ready for this morning for Durham. Nope.
Yeah, we typically don't see them in the Piedmont. I was looking at a map from the NC Wildlife Resources Commission, and you can see over the decades, they're in the western part of the state, big on the eastern part of the state, but slowly over the decades they've moved in. But I do want to, I do want to show you some video from my parents' house in Black Mountain. This was taken just here in the last couple of weeks.
Massive.
All of these videos you're going to see here, and you see this one right here has a little cub tagging along. There it is.
They look pretty comfortable. This isn't their first time there.
Oh no, they come through. My dad always says we have the polite bears, they use the sidewalk, and then some just cut through. But either way, let them just do what they want to do. But some things to keep in mind. I mean, don't leave food out for them. Secure your trash cans. These are reminders. We came out of a bookstore, and we see this restaurant. And I see this guy lifting something over his head. And I said, you know, that sure does look like the Stanley Cup there. They must have made a replica. It didn't dawn on me that maybe it actually was, right?
A restaurant of all places.
Yeah, this was less than 48 hours after they won the cup. And sure enough, that's what it was. Several of the players were there. My kids got pictures with some of the players, Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis. I'm trying to get another strawberry with chocolate out.
It's good. We told you. It's good.
And that was swordfish, and I have to say that was good. Good introduction to fish for me. By the way, the look you gave me while I was trying that Dubai chocolate, or trying to dig in there and get it out, very judging.
It took a while, I will say.
We're getting a little hungry here talking about school lunches after all of our back to school coverage. I was telling them about these things we had in middle school called the chicken ring things.
Yes.
It was sort of a flat chicken nugget with a hole in the middle.
Basically, the chicken version of a donut to a degree.
Yes, maybe that's why it was so good.
I'm very confused about all of this.
It all makes sense now.
Right? The way Justin's eyes just like sparkled. All right, let's get to the weather.
I'm hungry. A beautiful way to wake up there in the mountains this morning. But if you really want to wake up, I'd say just go ahead and plop in that water because it's
Would you plop in that water if you were there?
Plop on in there.
Vernon's here. He's got flowers on his tie. You've got sort of a floral pattern there. Yesterday was so spring-like, just wonderful.
Good.
What's going on now?
that was rather.
That was a deep transition.
What's going on now?